Hi, it's Ted from The Devil's in the Detail. You'll have to forgive me voice. I'm bunged up with a cold. But for the next few days, I've got this Vauxhall Cascada in. Basically, it's come to have a roof clean. Lives under a tree. And basically, it's a bit wet at the moment, so you can't really see how bad it is. But when I viewed the car in the dry, it is really bad. Covered in green algae. You can see the paintwork. It's covered in bits of tree, sap, and everything else. So basically, it's going to get a good roof clean, and I've says that I'll give the bodywork a nice clean up, fully decontaminate it, and give it a coat of a nice sealant or something. Clean the wheels, just generally make the car look nicer. He's in no rush for the car back, and to be honest, the way I feel, I'm not going to be rushing to get it finished quickly. But basically, you could see it's just a bit tired. It's got a forest growing under the bonnet, and it's the same under the boot lid. I've already had a look. So hopefully in a few days this might look a lot more respectable. Well, I'm sure you know it will look more respectable without any doubt. I mean, really, just a wash would make this look more respectable, but it's a bit dull and lackluster, so I want to get some of that back. I'm not going to be doing any machine polishing unless I decide to put a sealant on that, like Roops Uno or something, which I'll use a machine polisher to apply it, but we'll see. I haven't got there yet. I want to get the roof clean first, and then I'll worry about the rest of it. But you can see there's some deep-seated algae in there. You can't tell now because it's wet, but I'm sure it'll come up all right. So I'm going to get on with the roof clean and see how we get on. Right, I'll see you in a short while. As you can see, the interior suffered a bit from the damp. With convertibles, they do get a lot of condensation. You can see door cards have suffered quite a bit. Door steps. I mean, it is the middle of winter, and you can't really expect anything else. So I'm going to give it a clean the dash. You know, generally it's just freshen it all up, and then I could start on the roof and the paintwork. Like I say, I'm not rushing myself today. I don't feel 100%. So I'm just going to take my time and see how much I can get done. The chap's in no rush to get the car back, so that's good for me, the way I feel. So let's get at it. Well, I've cleaned the interior and started on the roof. As you can see, we started to get a lot of the rubbish out. It's looking a damn sight better, but it has to dry a little bit before we can see whether we've actually got it all out. But I expect to do it 2 or 3 times to get it as good as I want it. But it's coming on. I'll just rinse this off and have a look. Well, I've gone over the one side of the roof twice, and you can already see the difference. It's not dried out properly yet, so I can't tell for sure, but it is looking like I've got the majority, or 99% of it. I might have to go over it one more time, but I'm going to get this side done now, get this out of it, and then I can have a look at as the other side dries. I'll know. So I'm going to get on with this. So I'll see you a bit later. I haven't been able to have the camera out here to film this morning, but we've just had a break in the rain, so I thought I'd just explain what I've done so far. The roof has dried out overnight and that looks okay. Like I say, I had a couple of good scrubs yesterday. I expected to come in and have to do one more, but it's okay. So I've been cleaning the wheels now. I've been using the wheel woolly to clean inside the barrels because they never ever get done. And basically they've all been cleaned, and now I'm going to spray some of the Iron X product to get rid of any iron filings. Now I've done the other three and there was very little reaction, so that was a good thing. And so I'm just going to leave this a few minutes to see if we get anything showing up on this, and if we do I'll show you. But like I say, the other three there was very little, so whether these have been refurbed, you know, recently, you know, it's unusual not to get quite a lot of iron filings out of a wheel, but we'll have a look in a minute. The roof, like I say, has come out well. The dust has fell on it overnight, so I'll have to clean all that off again. But I've got to wash the car and decontaminate the paintwork today. I have been struggling a little bit because I've had the kangaroo, but I'm in for as long as I can. And I got quite a bit done yesterday with the interior and the roof, and I did 3 of the wheels, and then went home to bed. Feel a lot better this morning, so hopefully I'll last longer today. So just going to wait and see if we get any reaction to the metal remover, and to be honest, we should have been having a little bit by now, but there's nothing showing up. I'll give it another couple of minutes and rinse it off. But that's the process of cleaning the wheels. We've scrubbed the tyres clean so that the new tyre black grips the tyre rather than just flings off. And in our eyes, the wheels make of the car, so we want to make sure they're as clean as possible. And they'll be having a sealant put on to protect them. It's not having ceramic coatings, but I have got some ceramic based sort of waxy stuff that will protect them for a while. So I'm gonna crack on and then start washing it, so I'll see you in a bit. Well, the car's just had its first batch of snow foam, and because of the weather, you know, it's just spitting me rain. I've been able to leave it to dwell a lot longer than I'd normally leave it, and to be fair, it softened up a lot of the sap and bird lime that's come off quite easily with jet washing it off. But the car still hasn't been washed yet, so I'm going to apply another coat of snow foam and let that dwell, and then I'll wash the car, and then we'll start the decontamination process. Metal remover, tar remover, general fallout. So this is just the start of the process, and it's already starting to remove quite a lot of the imperfections. So probably got another 2 hours to carry out the rest of the washing and decontamination, and then we can have a look at anything that needs removing even more. So I was hoping to have the camera outside today, but with the rain I'm not going to leave the phone out there, so I'll just do little bits. Right, let's let that dwell for 5 minutes, then it can be washed. Right, the car's been washed, and well, you see me snow foam it. I jet washed the snow foam off, then I've washed it using Maguire's car wash, and now I've got the Iron X, as you can see, and I've just sprayed the bonnet, and gonna see what reactions we get, because it actually feels like sandpaper, the finish on the paint. So I'm just gonna let this dwell. Spray some more on. In for the penny, in for the pound. I don't want this to dry out, so I'm going to keep an eye on it and make sure I rinse it off, because it will stain. But we should start seeing some reaction, because it feels horrible. I mean, that won't be the only contaminant in the paint, the iron, but there should be a lot, because it feels terrible. So we'll just wait a few minutes. I can see little bits starting now. It's hard to catch it on film till you start seeing all the red. But it is starting to happen. Just see some red particles starting to break up now. So I'll just leave this a couple more minutes, and then we'll put the camera on it again and see what extent it bleeds. Which is quite strange, because normally you'd be able to see the particles. I mean, I can see it, you know, live standing next to me, but it's very, very fine. But see if I can just capture some showing up. There's lots of it, but as you can see, what's dripping off, that's the iron filings being disintegrated. So although it's looking clear on the panel, it's not showing up very well. But it is coming off. So I shall be just wait for these, and then I'll do a panel at a time, and then check for tar. Get the tar off as well. Well, my hopes of chemically stripping this car have failed, and I've had to resort to using the clay cloth. Now, the only reason I didn't want to use the clay cloth is because it's not going to have any machine polishing. You can leave marring when you're using the clay, and I didn't particularly want to do that, but I've got no choice. To get this, I mean, it's lived under a tree, and although I've coated and coated these panels with different chemicals now, it's just not touching it. So I've just done the bonnet with a clay cloth, and it's got it lovely. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go each panel at a time, get the clay cloth, make sure it's really soapy for lubricant, and go around the car and clay. So it should be nice and free of contaminants by the time this and the tar removal's done. Right, I'll see you a little bit later. The contamination is that much on this, I'm sure I can get you to hear it. And then if I go over onto when I'm done. Can't hear anything. I hope you can hear it through the camera. Even with the clay cloth, it's taking some removing. But I think it's all sap. And there'll be like metal iron filings and that, but it's pretty thick. Right, I've pulled the car inside now. At least I know it's going to be dry. I've finished doing the clay cloth, and I've just got a couple of little bits more of tar that I've found on the way around that'll need removing. But all in all now, I know that I've got a blank canvas, so it's all clean. I've got the big boy out, going to dry it all off, all the nooks and crannies, make sure the door shuts are dry and everything. I'll have to re-dry the roof as well, because I've gone over it again. But there's quite a lot of staining still in the paint. You can see, you know, the finish isn't great. So I'm going to work out what I'm going to do with this. I was going to put just a coat of Geon can coat on it, but I might use the Roops Uno on a polisher, see if we can't polish some of them lighter things out and just give a better finish really. But really, these ingrained stains, you know, the car needs machine polishing, but it's got a dent in the bonnet, which I believe the body shop are going to be repairing and repainting, so the bonnet will look good after that's done. So I haven't got to be too bothered about the finish on the bonnet. But like everything, I do like to present the cars well after I've done them. So I'm going to get drying, and we'll see where we go from there. Like I say, some tar spots to remove, so I'll just have a microfiber with some TARDIS on it to remove them, and then I can start thinking about what I'm going to do to seal it all. Right, I'll see you a little bit later when there's some progress. I've dried all the car off, and you know, the car has really lived under a tree. It's been having acid washes, and I thought I'd show how it ends up. Now, this isn't in for a full machine polish, but I'm sure that I can get rid of some of it using the Uno Protect. Now, it's a 1-hit polish that leaves protect. Just thought I'd show a little bit of the putting the Uno on. What I'm trying to do is remove the marring from the clay cloth. Then it's as simple as just removing the residue. and it leaves a coat of protection on the panel. So it's like a one-shot job. It won't remove deep scratches, but it will remove wash swirls. And like here, the marring that I caused with the clay cloth's gone. So it's removed that, no problem at all. And now it feels nice and slick. I'm just going to move section to section around the bonnet. I've already done the one side. And now continue around the car. To try and show the marring that's in the paintwork, and the Uno has removed it, and some of the light scratching from the washing. It's pretty good. A bit of a 50-50. Right then, let's get back at it. Well, the Cascada's finished. The roof's come out very well. As you can see, that's been waterproofed this morning. And the paintwork looks a lot better than I'm sure it has for a long time. Certainly feels a lot smoother. It don't feel like sandpaper anymore. So this is now ready to collect. And for 3 days work, I think it's transformed the car. Right, we'll see you on the next project.